It is cleanup time. Now, those are the words of Senator Eddie Lucio this morning.
But there seems to be a communication issue between the trash companies and the county.
From basic surgical masks like this one, don't let your dog play with other dogs, and don't let others pet your dog.
Drainage officials say that the proposed bond will cost $190 million. It stretch along the Business 83 corridor from Penitas to Brownsville. Potential contaminated fish coming from this reservoir, patrolling the Rio Grande River, looking for suspicious activity. Next year's crops, which are already budding. Now I'm here at the Bert Ogden Arena.
We are here at the 14th annual Border Health Conference.
And they are obviously emotional and distraught over the tragic loss. For more information, you can head on over to valleycentral.com. Reporting live in McAllen, Mike Jimenez, CBS 4 Valley this morning.
14-year-old Emilian Sosa enjoys playing the violin. Now he plays it for his mother, Erica Calderon, who has been hospitalized for the past 3 weeks battling COVID.
Right now she is intubated. COVID-19 did a great damage to my mom's lungs, which they haven't been able to recover ever since.
Emilian says with some help, he did some research and found a treatment called extracorporeal membrane oxygenation therapy.
You have to put a very large catheter in a person's main blood vessels. You bring the blood out of the body, you run it through this machine that puts oxygen into the blood and takes out the carbon dioxide, and then puts it back in the body. It's basically an artificial lung that's outside the body.
The therapy is used on extremely sick patients, but there is no ECMO program in the RGV, so Calderon would have to be flown out by helicopter.
Just such an involved program, but for the places where they do have this intervention, that it can be life-saving when everything else fails.
Desperate for help, Emilian wrote a letter to Governor Abbott begging for the treatment. Sosa must still find a hospital willing to do the treatment, and his mother is uninsured, so to cover the costs, he started a GoFundMe.
A blessing that God has given us to help my mom move on from this situation and come back home with me.
Putting local first in McAllen, I'm Mike Jimenez.
With a sultry flair that embodies a strong sex appeal, Tejano sensation Magali De La Rosa is making her mark on the Tejano music industry. De La Rosa is a homegrown product of the Rio Grande Valley and has a family tradition in music.
I grew up as a small child singing Tejano music and Spanish music because my father was a Tejano artist when I was a little girl. And so I think that was always embedded in me.
Magali says she draws her inspiration for her music from experiences and stories of family and friends, and is inspired by strong Latina singers like Jennifer Lopez and Selena. De La Rosa credits her producers and record label for steering her outside the box.
We do Tejano music, but it's not traditional. We do cumbia music, but it's non-traditional. It's a fusion of all different kinds of sounds.
In May of this year, De La Rosa announcing her signing with Zurdo Records, owned by Michael Salgado, and on Friday will be releasing her new single, Mira Lo Que Has Hecho.
De repente me dejaste y la tristeza vino a mí, y la tristeza vino a mí. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay.
That was great.
The singing sensation has also been cast in a new movie, Fist of Justice, by El Valle Films, shot right here in the RGV.
Max Rojas is the director of this film, and so it'll be coming out in the new year, and it's an action film, and I play the lead role, the lead female role.
On Saturday, De La Rosa will be one of only 4 women performing at the 38th Annual Tejano Music Awards in San Antonio, where she will perform 2 songs.
To do it on such a grand scale as the Tejano Music Awards, you know, it's legendary. It's our culture. You know, being from Texas, I feel very proud.
De La Rosa says for now she will focus on completing her new album, but has future aspirations of one day having her own line of clothing.
You need to work hard, and you need to be true to yourself, and don't give up. There are so many doors that have closed on me, but you need to just keep knocking on those doors and knocking on those doors, and believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself and have a positive attitude, because you can't get anywhere if you don't have that great positive attitude within yourself.
In McAllen, I'm Mike Jimenez for KVO Local 23 News.
You've seen state troopers on the road. These troopers hit the water. Just one of the many ways they are executing Operation Lone Star.
We have our criminal investigators out on scene. We have our aircraft personnel. As you can see behind me, we have our tactical marine unit as well, patrolling the Rio Grande River.
Operation Lone Star focuses DPS resources to fight criminal activity along the border. Lieutenant Chris Olivares says with the influx of families and young children crossing, Border Patrol agents are busy processing rather than patrolling.
So what that does, this allows the cartels to increase their criminal activity by pushing narcotics through those open gaps. And that's when we, the Texas Department of Public Safety, we fill in those gaps to assist our federal partners.
As part of Operation Lone Star, DPS has more than a dozen boats deployed, patrolling the Rio Grande River, looking for suspicious activity.
What you're currently seeing is just one of the commonly used trails. You're seeing a bunch of old rafts that have either been destroyed or, torn up enough that they had to get a new one. You can see a backpack right over here. Water bottles for hydration, things like that. It's just a commonly used trail.
The operation has yielded drug seizures, 180 arrests, including criminal gang members, $600,000 in cash, and encounters with nearly 10,000 migrants.
We've been able to help people that had medical problems, people drowning, and then any kind of criminal aspect. We do a good job preventing that.
As they patrol the front lines, troopers say they are making an impact.
It's very crucial, very vital that we fill in those gaps and to ensure the safety of the communities, the safety of the citizens of Texas. We want to ensure public safety and border security.
Working for UN Mission, I'm Mike Jimenez.
I really believe that when this is all over with, they're going to be finding people in these mobiles down here that froze to death, or I do.
With no electricity since early Sunday morning, those who live at the Winter Haven Resort in Brownsville say this is a winter nightmare.
They're sleeping in their cars at night, to stay warm. There's a lot of people in this park that have oxygen machines or on dialysis. Or bedridden.
We're told most homes in the park use electricity, and without it, they're dealing with near freezing temperatures.
The lady said she woke up and her house was 35 degrees this morning. That's crazy. It's not right to treat our old people like that. These people need to wake up. Someone's going to die here from this.
Steve Scott, who is a bit of a neighborhood maintenance man, is doing what he can to help, but he says many can't afford extra expenses and come here because the cost of living is cheap.
So they can get by on the fixed income, but when it comes to stuff like this, a lot of them have no family here at all.
Scott says the community has been patient but want answers.
I don't know why they can't do something to have at least a community like ours have power, at least for a while. I mean, they say it's a rolling blackout. It hasn't rolled here. It just came here and stopped.
Property management tells me AEP is the provider for the park. I reached out to AEP and asked how properties were selected for controlled outages. They say with the exception of large hospitals, all other circuit breakers are fair game.
It's sad that they forget us. I don't know if it's what the reason is, but this long without any power at all is just it's kind of ridiculous.
Working for you in Brownsville, I'm Mike Jimenez.